they failed to speak to a single survivor. An investigation into child sexual exploitation in my hometown that we'd forced through relentless campaigning, and they failed to speak to a single survivor. And the only survivor they eventually spoke to was a consequence of the direct intervention of Maggie Oliver, who contacted them and said, what on earth is going on? We've got survivors here that who want to speak to you, and you've not allowed, and they allowed one survivor. But at that time, the report was, it was just pandering to her, had a meeting with her. That young woman recorded the meeting, and that's in the public domain as well. And he's just, they're just pandering to her. And you can see they're just pandering to her. The terms of reference to that inquiry, the terms of reference of Andy Burnham's inquiry that we forced, included a window of just 3 years, 2011 to 2014. It set where they could go looking and where they couldn't. So, for instance, schools were excluded from the terms of reference. Yeah, you're looking at me? Yeah. So they're trying to manage this all this time. And the terms of reference made reference to something called Operation Hexagon. Now, this is an inquiry into allegations of child sexual exploitation, child rape, grooming gangs, Pakistani rape gangs linked to the Labour Party. That's everything I'd released. They're forced to launch an inquiry into the information I'd released and the campaign we'd led. And in the terms of reference, and again, public documents, you'll find reference to Operation Hexagon. Operation Hexagon, as the most senior police officer in Oldham told me when he met with me during this process earlier on, was a joint Greater Manchester Police and Oldham Council operation to come after me and come after any member of the public that spoke out against the grooming gangs.
Oh my gosh. This
is what you do with football hooligans, those sort of organized, where they map and identify. That's what is, say you did that, and it's outrageous that you do that, first of all. But then secondly, you do that and you put it in the terms of reference of the investigation. Who's going to come forward and give evidence?
Yeah.
Who's going to come forward and give evidence? No one. They contacted me, asked me to give evidence. I'm the main whistleblower, whatever. They called me accuser or something in the letter they sent me. And I responded, yeah, of course I will give evidence, providing my testimony is recorded. Is it an unreasonable request? I want to testify. No. If it's not going to be in public with people, in a public space, please get a tape recorder, record my testimony. My transcript is included in the report. We take selective notes.
I bet they do.
Yeah. The inquiry had been set up in such a way where they take selective notes. Two of the other individuals involved, the adults involved, one was a man called Kaiser Raymond, who got in trouble because he whistleblew. He got involved, and he publicly, it's on X, you'll find his post on X to this day, he withdrew from the investigation because the notes that they presented to him was full of inaccuracies that did not reflect on his testimony. They got in touch with Huey MacDonald, and the last conversation I had with Huey MacDonald was, Raja, I keep sending them back. They keep sending me, I keep sending them back. What I've said isn't what's in the...
Oh my God.
Yeah. So you can see the scale of the cover-up. We decide where we go. We decide who we speak to. And when we speak to them, we decide what we write down as to what they've said. Mm-hmm. And then we put in front of them to sign off. And by the way, whatever the number of children that were groomed and gang raped, we'll finish our report without even speaking to a single one of them. This is Andy Burnham's report. This is the Greater Manchester Mayor. This is his assurance review. And when they produce their assurance review, they produce it and it comes, and they all stand up. And the leader, the council at the time, was a woman called Amanda Chattis. And you'll see on the videos, you can still find it on the GMCA webpage if people go looking, to be archived somewhere, I'm sure, is they make reference to me and I lied. And apparently it wasn't a cover-up. And you'll see all the time they're saying, it wasn't a cover-up, it wasn't a cover-up, it wasn't a cover-up. That review did not even detail how many children were groomed and gang raped. They didn't even give us a number. They used case studies, I think, of 10 children. One, victim A, she contacted me. I'd never met the girl. She contacted me on social media, crying. They'd come to her house and given her a file to say, you're going to be included in the in the review, and had a whole host of things. He goes, it's full of inaccuracies, and they've not even had the decency to talk to me. Will you please talk to me? I said, I can talk to you, but what good will I do? Well, I want to share my story. So I interviewed her. I put it out online. Horrific story, absolutely horrific of what happened to this child. And they knew. The police knew, the council knew, they all knew. And Andy Burnham, as a consequence of his assurance review, looking all smart, talked about Operation Sherwood. The police have created Operation Sherwood. We're going to go after these grooming gangs. We're going to go after all of these. The public needs to be reassured. The first thing Operation Sherwood did was go and threaten this young woman for speaking out.
My God. What is wrong with these people? It beggars belief. And I suppose that's your point here is, I asked before why it's different to what's happening with the white gangs. The difference is this is systemically backed and enacted by, it's our government doing it.
It's a cover-up. It's a cover-up. It's a cover-up. It's a cover-up.